Hello, and thank you for attending my presentation. My name is Jordan Stokes, and I'm a freshman at Northampton Community College. My presentation, Lazy Teens Are Not the Issue, Solving Teenage Sleep Deprivation Through Delayed School Start, is focused on the issue of teenage sleep deprivation. I became interested in this topic after struggling with sleep deprivation in my high school years. Part of it was due to mental illness, but other factors are also at play. Here's the research that I've conducted. The issue. In 2018, a study done by Gen Youth and Sleep Number found that around 74% of high school students who participated claimed they did not get enough sleep to perform well in school. With such a large number of students who aren't getting enough sleep, one would think that either this is a huge problem, how did it get this bad, or this is a huge problem, hasn't anyone come up with a solution yet? The biggest issue in solving the teenage sleep deprivation crisis is that most proposed solutions focus on things such as limiting electronic usage or taking melatonin supplements, which do not help the main cause of sleep deprivation. Instead, having high schools open later faces the teenage sleep issue head on by focusing on the biological habits of the average teenager, which, in combination with less effective solutions, can benefit health, safety, and performance of teens. The biological factor. Teenagers aged 13 to 18 need, on average, 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night. Interestingly, though, the typical teenager also sleeps best between certain hours of the day. Adolescents' circadian rhythm or sleep-wake cycle typically causes them to feel ready to sleep around 11 p.m. and ready to wake up after 7 a.m. Circadian rhythm is a biological process which relies on the detection of light to produce the sleep hormone melatonin. The less light that is received by the retina, the more melatonin is produced, and the body becomes prepared to fall asleep. Because circadian rhythm in most teenagers is tuned to a later sleep time, melatonin is not naturally produced beforehand, and it can be difficult to fall asleep earlier. As most teens are bound to get inadequate sleep, the homeostatic drive for sleep becomes stronger throughout the day, which causes tiredness and limits cognitive performance. This chart displays the average hours needed of sleep for each age group. Notice the 13 to 18-year-old age group says 8 to 10 hours. Also, due to stress and fighting exhaustion after having to wake up extremely early, many teens can develop an inconsistent circadian rhythm with similar effects to constant jet lag and even develop sleep debt, where the hours of sleep lost begin to build up and cause health decline in addition to issues concentrating, completing complex tasks, remembering information, and creative thought. Compared to adults, teenagers not only need a significantly larger amount of sleep, but also tend to follow more night owl tendencies, sleeping and waking up at later times, in addition to having inconsistent sleep schedules. What are some of the other causes of poor rest? Technology. Electronic devices use blue light wavelengths, which increase alertness and suppress the release of melatonin and other hormones important to sleep. Caffeine. Caffeine specifically can cause a lot of problems in teenage health, including irritability, anxiety, and insomnia. Mental illness. Mental illnesses are likely to cause sleep issues. Anxiety can lead to late nights, while depression can lead to increased exhaustion. So, why delayed school start? Alternative solutions. Other solutions, while not necessarily negative, only help to fix potential parts of the problem. Limited device usage and caffeine consumption can help to keep teens from staying awake for too long. The CDC recommends to keep a consistent sleep schedule. By having the same bedtime and wake-up time each day, the body's circadian rhythm is able to even out because it has a structure it is used to and able to rely on. Some common solutions may also have no effect or a negative effect. Using melatonin too frequently, in excess dosage, and too late in the day can all cause negative effects, including decreased effectiveness of the hormone, one of the most important things needed to get the right amount of rest. Even considering these possible fixes, not all teenagers exhibit the same habits. But one thing they have in common is 7-hour school days, not to mention the stress and homework that may contribute to their lack of sleep. The benefits of improved sleep. If school were to begin even an hour later than usual, students would be able to get more sleep and wake up later and hopefully arrive at school after the melatonin produced during the sleep cycle, as well as general grogginess from waking up, wear off. This improved amount of sleep can help to fight off confusion and drowsiness, as teens are therefore more likely to wake up when melatonin levels are lower. Poor rest can also lead to major health problems, including mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and aggression, and physical health issues including seizures, diabetes, and hypertension. Adequate sleep can therefore lead to better grades due to improved concentration and even better physical and mental health. Depression especially is already a common illness in Gen Z and millennials, so making an effort towards better sleep schedules could help set the next generation up for a lesser chance of mental illness, and through this, one less thing to worry about in their lives. Increased amounts of sleep can also help to keep teens safe by decreasing risk for drowsy driving. Over 50% of drowsy driving accidents are made by people under 25 years old. Teenagers are included in this age group, many of whom are also newer and less experienced drivers. By allowing for sleep, these accidents are less likely to occur and the chance of injury and death become lower. Concerns debunked. Some parents and other adult figures may be concerned over school schedules changing due to other resulting scheduling changes, but there are solutions and compromises for these problems as well. Most parents are likely worried that their own schedules would need to change in order to accommodate with the change in high school openings. Worried about transportation? Most students typically have access to buses, cars, either their own or a friend's, public transportation, after-school programs and buses, or may live within walking distance. There are plenty of ways for teens to get home, and it is not like they are going to change because of an hour schedule shift. However, if parents do have issues with getting their kids to school at a later time in the morning, school districts can continue to open schools at the original time, like schools in Huntsville City, Alabama did. Half Moon Bay High School in California also chose a similar approach by offering 2 start times, but using a single end time to help accommodate sports schedules. If people are worried about changes in bus companies or payments, plenty of schools have actually decreased bus costs. One example being the $400,000 to $600,000 decrease in Ithaca, New York. There have been schools in 46 of 50 states that have made changes to their school start time, and some of their changes and positive effects can be found through Start School Later, a nonprofit whose mission is to make an improvement to school hours for students. Parents should not need to worry about the changes that come from altering school schedules, as there are obvious solutions as well as ones created by schools who have already switched schedules. Making the change. So, what can you do to help make a change for later school start times, especially in high schools? One thing you can do is advocate on your local school board. By becoming involved in your local school board, you'll be able to address the problem directly to the people who are going to be able to make that change. Inform others about the issue. By telling others about the issue of teenage sleep deprivation and this possible solution, you will be able to open up more people to this idea. Get siblings and children involved. If you have siblings or children of your own and they deal with similar issues, it may be a good idea to introduce them to this idea as well. The more people that are informed, the more likely it is that this change can be made in your own community. Thank you all for attending my presentation, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.